What's up everyone, Dr. Ling here with a video on some remarkable mods shown here. We got the floating toolbar, Jestik, and Ghostbuster that I'm going to be going over for you today. Alright, let's get started. So the first mod that I want to go over is the floating toolbar, and the UI is not very intuitive, so I'll fumble through how to use it with you all. The way you get to the floating toolbar options is you first open up the pen menu up here, and then you'll have these additional buttons. The quick tools button toggles the toolbar on and off. The cycle preset lets you loop through saved toolbars. The save preset saves the current state. Once you add things and make changes, you hit that button and you hit save. The other thing I'll note with that button is that you can move the floating toolbar and save the position as well. Oops. And then that will remember where you put it. And then the reset float toolbar button just scoots the floating toolbar up to the top. But if I cycle through, I guess one of the buggy things that I noticed with the save preset is that it doesn't always remember the exact location that you put it, so just wanted to point that out. Alright, moving on to how to add and remove things to the toolbar. So the way that you add a tool, so anything within this pen menu here can be added, as well as the eraser and selector tool. As you can see, I have some colors added already, and the way that you add things to the floating toolbar is you press and hold over the thing that you want to add. And then the way that you remove the things from the floating toolbar is the first step that you have to do is make sure that it's activated. And then once it's activated, then you can press and hold to remove it. So if I try to press and hold on this line thickness here, it's not going to work. But then once I activate it and then press and hold, it goes away. And then you can also add a specified tool pen. So if you wanted a ballpoint pen with a thickness of 2 that's black, the way that you add this specific pen is you press and hold on this button here. And then it gets added. And then the way that you remove this pen is it's a little bit different than when you remove things from here. First, it has to be activated, similarly like last time, and then you press and hold up here, the same button that you used to add it. So press and hold and it goes away. So there's a bit of nuance between adding a pen from this section of the menu here and then adding a pen from with the specific settings. Adding a pen from the menu here only activates that pen type, and it will retain the settings, i.e. the line width and color that was already there. So if I add a pen and then a calligraphy, and then I'll add this specific one here. So right now I have the calligraphy line width 2, and then if I change the size of that, see how when I change the size now that I'm still on a calligraphy pen, then this one gets activated. See if I wanted to change it to green, and then I change it to the ballpoint pen, you can see that I am left with a green at a 1.5 width. But then if I hit this button here, the specified one, then I'm back to the black and 2. Another thing, another quirky feature of the floating toolbar is when you press and hold the specific pen in the floating toolbar, you'll activate these arrow buttons, and that allows you to move these. It only works for the specific pen tool. You're only allowed to move those up and down the menu. But if I try to, I wonder if you can move this. I guess you can also move the eraser as well. And yes, select button as well. So that also activates these up down arrows. Does this also activate it? Yep. So it seems like any button added from the top menu here, when you press and hold in the floating toolbar, it activates the up down arrows. Alright, so the last feature that comes with the floating toolbar mod is the floating toolbar for the layers. So if I come to the layers button here and then hit this button here, that toggles the layers floating toolbar on and off. Alright, so with the layers floating toolbar, I'll just kind of go top down, left to right. This button here just allows you to minimize the floating toolbar, and then you can also use it to drag around. The I button for this row hides or toggles the template. You can add a page with this button, add a layer with that button, go to the page overview with this button, and then change the template from here with this button. Along the right column, you have the remove layers buttons. Along the left column, this is where you can select the layer that you're working on. And then these little eyelids, these buttons toggle the menu's view. And then you can also, when you press and hold the layer number, it'll quickly show to the side what the name of the layer is. And that's useful if you're moving layers around, repositioning them with these buttons here. And then you can see that my layer 1 moved to layer 2. My layer 3 got moved down to layer 1. So this helps you figure out where your layers got moved to in terms of the order. And then this row here for the different layer rows, this will merge things to the first layer. So the last mod that I want to talk about with this video is using gestures with the Just Stick mod. And this gives you a few different 3, 4, and 5 finger gestures that you can use to activate pen tools or change line widths, etc. So from this page we can see what my personal gestures are set to. For a 3 finger swipe up, that activates what I'll call my default pen. It's a calligraphy black with 1.5. If I do a 3 finger swipe left, that activates the fine liner. 3 finger swipe right, that activates the ballpoint pen. And then there's an option for a 3 finger gesture swipe down, but I have that turned off because I don't really use any of the other pen tools. And the way that you change things with the gestures is you have to go to the main settings, and then you'll get a button here with a Just Stick. And this is where you can specify what each of the gestures activate. So here are the 3 finger gestures. You can activate all the different pen tools, pick a color, and then change the widths. Here are the four finger gestures. This another option for different pen tools. They have a default to the highlighter for swipe left, and when you first install it, it defaults to the shader, but I don't ever really use that one, so I just have that one turned off. And so coming back to my note here, just to show a little demonstration of each of those. So 3 fingers up, left, right, 4 fingers left, 4 fingers up to change the pen width, 4 fingers down to change the pen width down, 4 finger tap to activate the selector, and then 5 fingers up gives you the page overview, 5 fingers down gives you the table of contents, and then maybe there's some ghosting that you guys can see, but the 5 finger tap activates a manual refresh. And the one thing that I'll say about these gestures, if you're like me and you like to use keyboard shortcuts, this is pretty much the same thing, but using your fingers. And the one thing that I'll say about these gestures is that they're pretty difficult to activate by accident because they're pretty specific with the way that you have to activate it. And at least for me, I find that activating them is actually pretty easy, even while I'm holding the pen. So I can just be, writing something. Oh, I messed that up. Let me just activate my selector, move it here, or delete it. And then boom. Because I can use gestures to activate different pen tools, that leaves me the option to have my floating toolbar just be like a color palette. So that way I can say that I want to draw a graph. I'll typically use my fine liner because it gives you nice even lines no matter what the pressure is. And then say I want to add a graph in one color and then a graph in a different color. And then I can go back to my default pen and then label things with my normal font essentially. And so these gestures and the floating toolbar work together pretty symbiotically in terms of giving me an enhanced note-taking experience. All right, thanks for watching.